times, and the app itself kept crashing, which I don't think the radio is loud enough to be heard over top of me and the dog still being good, so that's good. The app itself kept crashing, which might be proving the point that there are just so many videos to see on YouTube. This time it's like each try I made the title, I made it slightly different and got it to like its shortest version. That being said, I also have found the longest video that I maybe have ever seen on YouTube, and I spend quite a bit of time on YouTube, not just posting. And it seems to be 5 hours of cake decorating. Obviously, nobody would likely watch 5 hours in a row, but yeah, the radio is both not English, I don't think, and it's quiet enough that hopefully YouTube doesn't have issue. But I don't plan this to be a very long one, as much as I would like to have engaging conversation, and I'm curious if the title might intrigue people. Dog's pretty comment. Maybe I will turn this off for now. I'll put it on AM. Something fell behind me, which is usually just talking, or static. A lot more static than I thought.
Just 10 minutes from right now.
But yeah, so basically, maybe I'll try and make this just about 10 minutes. But then again, if it does well, then I want to keep doing it. And if it does crash, I know it'll still post, thankfully, because it did that recently. But yeah, even like in the past half hour, just looking at YouTube, because, been kind of stuck and I'm kind of having a slow day. It is sunny out and blue sky. And I'm just noticing that I don't have my hair thing in, which means it fell out, which means that the dog might easily get it later and chew it. But unless it's in my hat. No. Oh, no. It's a tag I didn't know was in there. Anywho, but yeah, but it is quite cold out, even though it's sunny. But yeah, I feel like that might be about to get worked up. But I just sat back down after adjusting the radio, and I'm kind of comfy. So, but he's looking at me, and I think he wants to be noisy. I could give him a treat, but I didn't need to earlier. He just went up to his little crate, and he was good. And that's something else I want to talk about, actually. Maybe I'll do that on my way to either trying to see where my hair tie went or getting another one. No signs of it, and it literally was just in my hair. But basically, well, that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And because I know I can do the rotate camera thing, it's just with the fact that it was crashing earlier. But I thought, I'll put some distance away, I'll do this translator. It's still pretty early, it's still only 10 to 12 here. But I don't know. But part of me kind of wants to rotate the screen, part of me doesn't. I don't know if I need to for what I'm talking about, but I'll do it quickly. There's Sunny. Hi. And you'll see that red thing that was on the ground, that red tube thing, as opposed to YouTube, with an icon. But, why do these feel so much looser these days? They're falling. It's a pretty durable thing, but he's gotten a couple pieces off of it recently. And the other day, he came here and he was sitting here, and I thought he was yawning, and I was like, he's keeping his tongue rolled for a really long time. Well, it was this thing in his mouth. And I thought he had something, but then he was just really good at making it look like he didn't. Okay, be good, Sonny. But yeah, so basically, I just need the background noise. I find. Yeah, there's still lots in here, but it's not pumping. But yeah, so as we get a viewer, yeah. So basically, within half an hour, like it suggested me. You know, the thing is, and they say about algorithms, the thing is that YouTube gets to know the things that you like, right? And it's likes to suggest it to you, and then the more you look up, the more it might show you. And sometimes it's very welcome and it's intriguing. You know, different things make people click different videos or whatever. But it's just, hey, go away. I want to see if there's more dialogue on this video. I'm kind of curious, but so that's the other thing I want to talk about the dog, which was one of the things in the description in the other video that I don't think I really got to very much. But at the moment, even though it can be hit and miss, or it can vary, I kind of want to see how this video will do and not have the dog barking for attention. You know, he gets lots of attention, love, exercise. I don't know about these treats. They're all different sizes and they're weird. That one's really kind of loose yet tightly. I should have made it 6 foot too. But, yeah, and he's got everything he needs at the moment. And we know that we take good care of him. But the thing of the matter is that when I'm on the phone or when I start a video, as some of you who may have seen my videos before may know, we're only one person who just started, but sometimes that's kind of how it goes too. But I'm in the mode to do this, I feel like. In the mode and in the mood, in a good way. But yeah, basically, so just noticing that that's playing music. I don't want YouTube to copyright claim, but I kind of want to have it in the background. So as long as it's not music. So yeah, basically, he gets hyper. He also gets kind of funky sometimes when we put him in the backyard, and I guess that it might be because he says, "Come out and play with me." But yeah, when I do when I do videos, and when I do the phone, almost always, and it's almost as if he's kind of trained me a little bit. He gets noisy, and so therefore I give him a treat to shut him up, because I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's distracting. It's cute, maybe from the other side to someone that doesn't notice it all the time. And I'm not on the phone a ton, like phone calls, but I am somewhat. And yeah, it does that sound like a good thing to do? To just give in and give them something. So we've had one viewer here for about 3 minutes, and another one just tuned in. Welcome. The other thing is like that red thing that I showed earlier. Basically, it's this rubber tube thing, like a thin, fairly short thing, and he's been chewing chunks off of it. And he also has a rope. And I thought, well, he could get pieces of the string and swallow those too. I didn't want to take away both from him, so I haven't taken away either. But it's kind of like, yeah. Other than that, maybe the one that was already here or the other one, I'm not sure. Other than that, there's a song request or a topic request. But yeah, the original topic of this video was that, and hey, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm really not. Whether the person watching at the moment, because like I say, this is only been rolling, who left, well, you should be saying it's bad because it is. I mean, in a way, it is. It's true. I mean, it depends. There is definitely, likes and doing this and that. There are, maybe some things that make their way on YouTube, and I have a pretty open mind. I really do. That maybe shouldn't. They are just not necessarily kosher, in my view, to use that word. But at the same time, it's great that anybody who wants to, post on YouTube can post on YouTube. In fact, I just for a couple of examples, I don't know if I should. Well, thing is if I plug them and they're not somebody that somebody else already knows about, and then they subscribe to them, and then they get more into their channel than they get into mine. I mean, it's nice when it's equal, when it's a balance, but there's just no way for it to be. I mean, they're just, or not very likely or easily most of the time. But one of them, the title, I'm still not sure what to think, and if I really want to watch the rest of the video, but she's 83 years old. That makes me think of Lana a little bit, which I might want to talk about in a moment. But basically, it would be funny if somebody named Lana I'd tune in. I should just say a bunch of names, and like you just said my name. But I mean, if it's a very common name, you know, there's many people with it. But some people might still be like, "Is he talking about me?" You know. So, but it doesn't say at the top. It just says a number. So I don't know until there's a comment. Somebody just came in. Welcome. But yeah, basically, I actually started watching some or looking into some about being YouTube creators because some people may look and say, "Oh, they've got lots of subscribers. They're going to do fine," or they're not. Why not? But the thing of the matter is that as I've mentioned in other videos, I don't have enough subscribers to go live, and I seem to remember the number being 500 or something very high. And I just, there was a couple of videos, and I didn't make sense out of them that I watched where it says, don't send links to friend or family, about your channel. You know, I've already done that a little bit, but I don't know. They're the people that know you and care about you most. I mean, strangers care about strangers, but people that know you, hopefully, love you and care about you more. But basically, yeah, so it would take too long for that to get to that spot where I could do it. And so I know some people may say, well, you have to, do it in your camera and then upload it. My device is really slow in doing that. And, even if it makes storage space, sometimes it doesn't actually give me that much, or it's easy to fill it quickly again. So it's hard to get my device to a point where it can do either, to be honest. So we do it on the shared channel here. And it's fine with that as long as it does well and it's a good experience. Then yeah, so and I mean it can do mediocre, but let's make this one fantastic, right? But just bear with me for a moment here. I'm just trying to get some lotion out of this thingy that is not pumping at the moment. I don't know why. And the viewer left. It's actually an interesting flavor. I know people say this. I don't wear it. Well, I don't go out a ton these days at the moment, and when I do, I try and go with the milder stuff. And I think it's worse in the winter, and I must have gotten either something in my eye, or I don't know, because it's, but it is zucchini flour, didn't even know that was a thing, and truffle. Very fancy. We actually got it free from a donation center. Sorry, my eye is just running and stinging a little bit because for the two that just tuned in, if you didn't catch, I was handling some lotion, and normally I don't have this kind of reaction, and I've used this lotion before, so I don't know. Anywho, it's not too bad, and it's subsiding, I think, now. And the two viewers went, they're like, Marlene, if you're okay, sayonara. If you're okay, we're okay. And earlier I did a longer video, and, you can only take so much of that. There's always that curiosity. Oh, is somebody going to tune in and really enjoy and benefit or feel a nice impact from this, want to engage, But if it don't happen, it don't happen. And I should try and have a balance as much as I can of the shorter and the longer. So this one will be under an hour. I'm telling you that right now, even though nobody's here to hear it. Here to hear it? Here to hear. Here to hear the heart to heart? Oh, that. It's got to be a song. Anyway. I'm wondering if I should do an on-the-spot song. But that's the other thing. But I could show how I could show the video where I came up with it. Nobody's watching at the moment, and we're 15 minutes in, and I'm tempted to do it. But the guitar's upstairs. I kind of just got comfy where I'm sitting and got, propped my back and everything well. And the piano is there. But I don't know if I know what else I would do with that idea. Let me think about it for a moment here. And otherwise, I don't know if there's anything else to say about the title, other than getting people's thoughts. But, it's starting to seem like, when they tune in, maybe it's also a bit of, they want to watch for a bit before they decide to comment. And if they feel, I don't know, I think it depends on the person. I'm certainly not trying to force anybody. But if they feel like they're being made to, or like it's a requirement when watching these, they were right. Just kidding. but but yeah, so I understand that. But here to here, I don't even know what that how I came up with that earlier. The heart to heart music got the title off right. Okay. But I mean, he's got that for a little while. Unless he wanders off from it, might as well enjoy the fact that he's got that, and he'll stay out of my hair as I write here to here, heart to heart. So there, just kidding. But I'm also going to try to conserve my energy until we get. Even if I don't acknowledge them necessarily, I want to wait till they come to say anything. But I know lots of people love to comment on YouTube, and it can be a very engaging thing. So. It's a little bit staticky, but for the best while posting. As long as it doesn't get too annoying, and I'm only going to not talk. Well, I'm saying it, but not quite doing it. Part of me thinks I should have done this upstairs, though, because then I could look at the ones that I've opened in the tablet. But again, do I need to get that specific? I don't know. It's something as a YouTube creator that I've been thinking about a lot lately. As one of us is a bit new and maybe unfamiliar to a lot of the subscribers, and we've just kind of recently started kind of being more active again on here in general, really. But yeah. I must apologize. My mind has briefly, unintentionally, went blank for a moment. I was starting to say something, and then it just kind of didn't fully come out. The person was there, they probably thought, oh, I can't relate to that. My mind never does that. Mine doesn't usually either. One of the guys I've recently started watching and subscribing to said something about, and felt that it was a good thing. It almost made sense coming from him. Something about how he just felt very similar to that. Like just, I don't want to say flat or numb, as we get to people almost at the same time, but felt very similar to that. And it's kind of, it's kind of like, and he doesn't seem like the type that would normally feel that way either from the videos I've seen of him. So, I mean, but it happens when you're human, right? I guess not to brag or toot my own bugle is the phrase I sometimes, the way I use that phrase, but, what's the word? A little bit of self-promotion, perhaps. What I think is good about this channel, and whether the person watching it hasn't been rolling that long, has ever seen a video here or not, and whether you agree or not, I'm curious, or, if this is the first, I'm still curious, is that it's very diverse. I think the viewer goes, screw diversity, you know what I mean? No, it could have been anything. It really could have been anything, maybe not personal. But it's very diverse. I think, we try and be very welcoming. I think musically we're talented. I think we're smart. I mean, again, part of me feels weird. I don't want to think of it as bragging. Like I say, maybe self-promoting a little bit. I think that more people should realize their positives. The only thing is that it's one thing to realize it. It's another thing to feel like you're living it authentically and that it's making the impact that you hope for it to make, I guess. I do have a couple chores to finish soon that I've really been meaning to do for 2 or 3 days, so I should do that. But I'm feeling a little bit low energy. But I don't know. I guess the title was kind of intriguing, but to be honest, I'm not sure if there was really a whole lot to say on it without talking about specific videos, which, I mean, like I say, wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I mean, it's true. There are lots of videos that have, the creators or creator of the channel have those same qualities I just listed. But yeah, basically, and again, everybody, I feel, should have the right and ability to. I don't know why suddenly I'm seeing sides. Was I noticing that before? I mean, I noticed it went with my hand there. I do sometimes see it. I wonder if it's because it picked up the radio a little bit. Well, hopefully it'll just mute that one part. I barely heard it, and I don't know how it could be heard over me speaking, and it was slightly staticky, and yeah. But anyway, but is that something that YouTube does? I'm not sure. Like, I know that they, you know, what am I call it, with copyright? Like, if it's original, like the yeah, original content of something. But everything's an original, and everybody's a stranger until they're not. That kind of stuff, right? Like everything's an original, even if it's a cover. It's still, yeah. Anywho, and then it's an original cover. I think I've gotten that idea in the past, actually. But point of the matter is that yeah, there really is. There's, I'm totally not self-absorbed, maybe a little bit, but I really do love watching other people's YouTubes. I have an idea I want to try. It's like other people's YouTubes, and on that note, I have something I would like to do. Why did the color go funny suddenly? I think just that, I don't know, it doesn't feel like the light in the room changed. I guess just the way I was holding the device. No, now it looks normal again. Or at least I think I want to do it, but it kind of goes along with my previous thought. And again, that's no offense to other creators and posters. I mean, I'm sure they've got great content, most of them, and I probably would like it, But like anything else, sometimes, although it's good when you try and consider other people too and try and, work with both, but honestly, you have to consider yourself first, whether it's your channel or things in your life. I mean, again, if you can do it where you're doing that, but also caring about other people, that's great. And I guess that's what I'm trying to do. So the next lucky person is going to get a very special question asked of them. And it's like the anticipation. What is that question? And I don't want to. Again, I'll just say this: I'm not singling anybody out, and I'm not gonna. It's not. It's not. It's not. They left. But I actually had an interesting experience, and it's interesting. I probably was done that thing already. Can't be. I probably do this often, but was more aware of it just a little bit before I started this video, actually, where it was kind of like, yeah, and I think I probably do it often, but it's like I clicked a few things that I wanted to put into my watch history to watch later, but I was really trying to do this video or trying to go back to other ones I had kind of, noticed first. It's a little bit, okay, well now he's had that thing really quickly, and he's wanting to be outside, but we live near a church, kind of out our back lane, and wonder how many people have that. And the parking lot, ooh, dear me, that's that thing where it's like, come out and play with me, come out and play with me. The parking lot is very full today, and also kind of a little bit in front of our house. So I don't know what's going on, but I would think more likely a funeral than a wedding on a Thursday early afternoon. But yeah, he's just gonna bark more at people. Plus, we also live near a school, so don't be goofy, hey? Is that a berry there? We have just a moment, please. But yeah, so during the day it can be quite active. I don't know why it says rotate. I guess because it's kind of at an angle. And dog in the neighborhood. kind of embarrassing, really, when he gets like that. Oh, the things Penny might say. Actually, that reminds me. Just quickly, since there's nobody here at the moment anyway, does it stay in? It does. It seems to, because I thought it pulled out. Maybe it's just because they put it back in. But I think it stays better on the top when we have one of these neat slider outlets. But, no, he won't be on break yet, though, so it's not as late as it feels like it is. I don't even remember what I was going to call about at the moment. It's like I did for a moment, and then I already forgot. Well, I could try and tempt him in with a couple of treats, especially since it is a bit busier out there today and it's embarrassing. Oh, right. I was going to ask about the text because I'm wondering if Mila sent anything. But I don't know if this would be a good time to or not. You know, and there's always that worry if we get on his phone too often. And it's not the first time I've thought it. I don't know if it's the first time I've verbalized it, but it's kind of like, you want to take that risk. Oh, he either hears the bag or just wants to come in. You know, some of the habits that we've got him into are pretty ingrained, unfortunately, now. So it's kind of like, yeah. I can't think of. I did do a little bit of music in one of the ones the other day, but I don't know if. I don't remember what's. It wasn't a lot, and I don't remember what songs. Part of me wants to like double check because I have to do something for about 3 or 4 minutes, and don't really want just nothing happening here, unless people are like curious. Oh, I've never seen this channel before, and I'm curious who's gonna come on screen and what they're gonna do. You know. And there should be. Curiosity can be a good thing, a great thing, right? It's just up here he won't be annoying. I really don't plan to load, to roll much longer. But, that all depends on the engagement level. I'll be right back. One further thing that I can say about the title is, oh, hello. I'm back. I was going to say welcome back, but you, welcome here. I just got you back. Is that, and again, this is never the intent with the content I post either, and the viewer left. But whatever. Oh, maybe it came back or somebody's here. One thing is that, and like I said, it's never the intent with my content, whether it's amount of posts or what's in them. But I notice it, and a lot of people do, and it's probably not just on YouTube actually, probably just online in general. But basically, it can be overwhelming. And some people may say, okay, well that's when you step away and do something else. Well, like I said, the sun is shining, it's blue sky, but it's quite cold. I actually heard somebody say the temperature, they were in New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, I think. And I might comment some of his videos at some point, but at the moment I was just watching and you know, various things happen, honestly, but more so when there's other people and not so much in the live chat, because that can be really hard to keep up with when it's going quick. But when it's not, maybe, I guess, easier, but is, you know, you get browsing sometimes the comments, and like one person I saw, she said she was 83. Didn't quite look it. Neither did that one. That how old was she? 100, little over 100. I'm thinking Hilda now, but and I wondered if they were acting, to be honest, because I wouldn't have made thought she was any older than maybe her 80s. But then the 83-year-old, yeah, she didn't. I think she looked like she looked more accurately to what she said, and I don't feel she was lying, but I would say she looked maybe, well, yeah, maybe about that, or 70, maybe something. But but so but I think I'd already watched all of that guy's video, or most of it. I stayed for a while, and it wasn't live either. But that's the thing is sometimes there's so many things that can be distracting, and but yeah, as far as doing other things, there are just some days where they're just it's still early. I still plan to do a couple of chores around the house. Other than that, there is no other things. You know what I mean? It's at this point in time, you know. Um, there's not really anything I have to really hugely prepare for, except for sending a payment about something on for Saturday. You talked about that. We confirmed that the other day, and then Monday. I think employment and volunteering, whether it's what we're trying to do or just in general, and specifically focusing on location or virtual, but realizing that even if it's virtual, if the process has any hiccups and it has to be in person, then I got to consider that. That's something we're learning now. But it would have been just nice if it just had worked out. Like I haven't been that bad. But yeah. So basically, it's almost like, even though it's not. This is actually where I had it leaning before, isn't it? No, I was doing it on that screen before, which is a little bit bigger. Because from here, I almost can't see the indicators at the top. I do have the chat menu open, and I think if something was to just come in, even if I didn't, it would show without having to press the screen, which it seems to be also requiring lately. But yeah, basically, I'm just having a laid back day at home today, So, but yeah, it is. It can be very overwhelming, right? And when there's just so much on the internet in general, especially social media, but even just on YouTube, And again, I'm not saying that, everybody doesn't deserve their place here and they're not posting interesting stuff. Because there's a lot of interesting stuff. But it's, so basically, I guess I'm asking for your thoughts on, and I mean, I am one that has hobbies. There's a lot of things I like. Some of them I don't actively do as hobbies, and it would either be a cost or I'd need stuff that would, cost more than I can afford or easily get. Or I don't know. I don't know. So I kind of look at my interest just on an internet-based way. If that makes sense, and I think it does. So how do you handle that when, you just feel like there's so much every day, new stuff, every moment, and you could be going to try and do one thing and it shows you a bunch of other stuff, and it may be stuff you're interested in. Like Glenn often says, it's not that there's not a lot of good stuff out there, it's just, but it's kind of like when you don't have other things that really strongly need your attention, sure, you could bounce around, and that can be a decent choice, for sure. That sounded funny, you can bounce around. But we don't have much to do. But it still at some points becomes, but it almost becomes like this is not really exactly what I'm meaning to say, but I can't think of how to say it, so maybe you can phrase it better for me. And sometimes maybe it is this, a coping mechanism. Spending time doing different things on the internet. Watching different things, look at different posts, whatever it is, as we get a second viewer tune in. I guess one reason that I make this post is because I know that other people will relate to it, and because I think it's something that I struggle with. This is another reason, I guess, why I'm making my own content, but even that, but it's So one of you, out of the two of you that are here right now, I think caught most of that stream of consciousness, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I like that phrase or not, but and what are your thoughts? I also realize that not everybody is as good at multitasking, like hearing and writing at the same time is not necessarily a fast typer. So although I sometimes struggle to think of that or remember it, I'm remembering it now. So I'm just going to um, let either or both of you type responses if you'd like. And I'm not going to distract you. Whenever you went. And also, what do you think this is? This is the only other thing you do. Sorry, let's try this one. Ooh, deep breath. That's about it. And it's not a bell. That has a wah 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 too. So now, like I say, and one of you was here when I said it, I'm just being quiet, giving you a few moments if you happen to be typing something. No judgment in what you're saying. I'm just curious your thoughts always. Sometimes my head is pretty active, so... and the person left. But they stayed there for so long. Well, they stayed there for about 3 or 4 minutes. That partly... I don't know if they've ever seen me before. Maybe they're going to see, I'd like to see if he can actually do this. Or they just thought, yes, I appreciate that. But then I did find myself talking. And so it's kind of like, they're like, no, you can't do it. These are riding lately. I saw the name Sally Ride or Sally Riding. I can't remember where. And it reminded me of the song, Ride, Sally, Ride. Oh. He's being so good. Yep, he's being so good in the hood. Whew. That's something else, each time I do these, that's one thing I'm learning. Rightly or wrongly, and it depends on the person watching, but like the example of, being hush, letting somebody write, because some people, a lot of people have ADHD. It can split their attention. Even if they can, they might prefer to not to, if they can do that. And yeah, it's kind of like, and maybe it would get quite frustrating. I mean, I'm not trying to make it frustrating, but maybe it would if somebody's trying. Like, well, I'd like to say something, but but you got to expect that a little bit too on YouTube, right? Like, you got to expect that, whether somebody's scripted or not, unless they're really conscious about it or they go into meditative states, kind of like that one guy that I've been following. So a couple people, or maybe it was the same one, same comment or same commenter, asked this guy what state he was in, and he wouldn't actually say, but he said state of, not euphoria, but maybe, something like that. Shh. But yeah, so I know what I'm gonna do, because again, I'm kind of feeling that blank feeling of like I don't know what else to talk about. But I'm glad it did kind of circle around to that other thought about the title. I'm going to be quiet for a moment. The radio is kind of on. I'm going to wait for a viewer to come in. Say, well, they done much. And then we'll go from there. Do I start watching this 5-hour cake decorating video? Mm-hmm. Can I make that bigger? Why isn't that rotating? Why is rotate off? I guess it's just off. It's off. That's why it's off. But now it's on, and that's why. It does seem like the buttons are being wonky. Most of mine aren't. But anyway, point. Skipped ahead like 3 hours. I'm not okay, but it did it anyway. I wasn't seeing the button to make it big, and the play, rewind, fast forward buttons are just gray circles. Let me amuse you with this, bringing into it. I think it's okay to share this. It's just cakes. If you think about it a bit, one I made for him once, and then also the cake decorator that was a top fan of his music. If nothing else, it's a bit of, well, I don't know actually, the music, I should turn that down just in case that gets copyright flagged. Honestly, I really didn't intend for there to be so much rainbow stuff. Not that that's bad, but it just happens to be that way in this month. Okay, that's being good at least. That's, I think, what I saw earlier. It just looks a little bit different. I think I'll be under an hour with this, but I can't say for sure. I want to try one more time to see, and then when it's on rotate and I rotate it upright, it doesn't want to do so. Let's go out of the browser for a moment. I want to try once or twice more. Man, like 40 minutes has just flown to see if an idea I have works. I'm also curious about that. I just got coffee. Nobody even here to try my idea out with and then walk away from it. But yeah, all I and say anything, they seem to be a scam where they like hound you, like, you haven't finished the process, you haven't finished the process. I just put those in there because I don't want to lay them on the couch. One, because they'd probably get lost amongst stuff or under the cushions, and two, because the dog would get into them. But I could almost see this being about an hour now, considering how fast 40 minutes has went, and that I'm now waiting for at least one or two more occasions of viewers to come in. I mean, I do these with the intent for them to be engaging. Yeah, they could be afterwards, but long and short, there's still a lot on YouTube, and you know, the longer, the more chances there's something in it that somebody would like, right? But you know, like I say, I don't just do this with a script just to get stuff out. Sometimes it's up here. So, I'm not going to single anybody out. Doesn't say names unless there's a comment. And I'm also not forcing. But at this current point in time, there is one lucky, don't take this word the wrong way, special viewer watching. Before I even said the word special, they were off. Like, nothing special. Sorry. If you come back and see this, or just in general, if you hear that, like, I'm just being goofy, but at the same time, it's almost, and again, there are various reasons, some personal, some not, but it's almost